Welcome to my course on AI automation powered by n8n. In this video today, we are going to continue building our AI powered automated content generation workflow, and we are going to pick up exactly from where we left in the last lesson. I'm going to show you step by step how we can use the WordPress blog that we generated with AI in the last lesson and repurpose it into a Twitter thread, a LinkedIn post, a Facebook image post with captions, and a YouTube script in Google Doc. So let's resume where we left.
Let's save our progress and let's click on this and let's pin this because we do not want unnecessary calls to go to our OpenAI APIs because that all costs money. So now we are going to use this branch in order to post to different social media platforms. So let me recap it again. Instead of using this particular if node, we could have used a switch node over here and we could have avoided having these dynamic prompts over here. You could have different branches coming out of that switch node, each having one OpenAI node connected to them, and each of these OpenAI nodes may have some sort of user prompt and system prompt that we have kept in our Google Sheet. But like I said, I chose deliberately to show a different method that how you can use dynamic prompts as well in order to generate the same kind of flow and keep your workflows to less number of nodes. So in order to do that, if you look at the prompts again, we need to have blog post content as an input. Over here below the star star star, I will have to insert the blog post content that has been created by this branch. And how we are going to do it, you can see that the false branch is having 4 items. So if I open this and we go to the false branch and we open the table schema, you can look at there is Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook as well as YouTube. So these are our content platform. On each one should have an input of our blog content that has been generated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a merge node so that the content can be merged with each and every prompt. So let me click over here and search for merge node. So this is one. So this is input 1 that is going to come, and we have number of inputs as 2. I'll go back over here and then we are going to drag one branch and put it into input 2. If now I open it up, and in the mode we are not going to have append because we do not want 4 items plus 1 item. We want to merge the generated blog with each of the content platform over there. So we are going to change the mode to combine, and instead of using matching fields because there is no matching field over here, I'm going to use all possible combination, which is more like a cross join or cross product of each and every item. So if I execute this now, you would see the 4 items over here which were basically from our false branch coming in and basically the content platform, but you can see the message has been appended into it. So that means I can access the content or the blog post that has been generated into these user prompts. So I can go back and you can see that I made a mistake over here. I have included the uncleaned HTML blog post. So we'll go back and I'm going to disconnect this and instead connect it over here, and let me drag it a bit further over here. Let's open this up and execute this step again. And if I click on JSON, this time I only have message and it's a cleaned up content over here now. So now let's go back and we are going to use this as the 4 items are coming. I'm going to add an OpenAI node and we are going to say message model. We are going to continue to use the same credential text message model and the model, our favorite one, 4O mini. I'm going to add another message. This one will change it to system and this one will keep it to user. And now I'm going to drag system prompt over here and the user prompt will go over here. Now if I execute this, you can see that 4 input items are coming into this OpenAI node. So that means this node is going to execute one by one for each of our platform, dynamically inserting the system and user prompt into it along with the message or the content that is also there. So that means we have to insert the content as well, but that part we have not done yet. So I'm going to click on this so that we can expand it. So user prompt is there and we have to insert the blog post over here. So in order to insert the blog post or generated content of the blog post, I'm going to click on here. Let's press the enter key. And now you can see here is the blog content. All the blog content is over here, based on which these instruction needs to be followed, and 5 to 7 Twitter thread needs to be created in this output format. Similarly, it will use our inputs to generate the content for each and every platform, because this OpenAI node is going to have 4 items as an input for each of the platform. So if I execute this step now, it is going to execute 4 times and generate the content for all the platforms that we have inputted. It is going to take some time because one by one it is executing for each and every platform, and we are going to wait for it. Then we'll browse the results that we have got. So you can see that input was 4 items, output is also 4 items. So if I switch over to table view, you can see the first one is for Twitter, the second one that we have is for LinkedIn, the third one that we have is for our Facebook page, and the fourth and final one, you can see the timelines over here. The outline for our YouTube script has been created. So that's what we want, right? Let me rename this to generate social media posts, and I'll click on rename. Before going back, let's pin this because we do not want this costly 4 calls to be made to our OpenAI platform. So I have pinned this. Now let's go back to the canvas. Let's save it. So since we have the social media post created for each and every platform, we are going to post for each of these platforms by adding the relevant or respective social media nodes onto our canvas. So for that, first we have to check which branch it is coming from. So now I'm going to use a switch node over here, and I'm going to go back to merge node. And over here we have the content platform. So I'm going to use content platform. This is Twitter. So I'm going to say similar way, I'm going to add the other rules very quickly. So all the routing rules have been added. I'm going to click on this ignore case, enable it, and that's pretty much it. Let me execute this step. So we have 4 branches out of it. Let's go back to our canvas, and now we can connect each of these branches to respective social media nodes. So over here, I'm going to click on Twitter, and I'm going to search Twitter node. So this is X, formerly Twitter. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to say create tweet. Let's come back to it in a while. Let's go back, and for LinkedIn, I'm going to add a LinkedIn one. So over here, we want to create a post. Let's go back. We'll configure it again. For Facebook, I'm going to come back. But for YouTube, we wanted to generate a YouTube video script and save it in Google Doc. So for the YouTube branch, we are going to add a Google Doc over here. I'm going to click on this docs. First, we'll create the document, and then we are going to go back, and then we are going to again have Google Doc. And this is going to update the document. Now let's start configuring them one by one. First, let's do the easy one, which is Google Docs. So I already have the credential over here. I'm going to have a create operation. My drive is already selected for this particular account. Let me see. Yes, I have one account over here. Now for the folder name, I'm going to, let's suppose, say capstone project. Well, let me go back and select this n8n course material. And for the title, we can go back to our first node, which fetched the topic. So I'm going to drag this topic. And before that, I'm going to say YouTube video script dash this. So this is going to name it as YouTube video script, the title of the topic that we had. If I execute this, so this means document has been successfully created with this ID. Now I'll go back to the canvas. Let me open this and rename this. Let's say Google document, or create new Google document. Let's rename this. Now let's come over here. Now let's rename it to save YouTube video script. So this is where we are going to save the script. So it needs the document ID or the URL. So I'm going to insert the ID over here. The operation is update. In the action, we'll select the object as text. Action is insert segment as body at the end of specified location. And what we have to insert, we'll go back into switch. The content is what we have to insert over here. So if I execute this step now, it is going to insert the script outline that we have created. It has successfully generated it. So if I go to my Google Drive, open up this n8n course material folder, and you can see that YouTube video script, top 5 AI tools for solopreneurs. If I open it up, you can see that the content has been inserted over here. So one thing is done. Now let's come back over here. Let me close this. Let me close this as well. Let's go back to our canvas. The next thing we can do is Twitter. So in the Twitter, I have already created the credentials. So for all these nodes, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, I'm going to dedicate separate videos on my YouTube channel so that you understand how you can create the credentials of of these social media platforms, and definitely watch the Facebook one because it's the most complex, most irritating, most difficult one to create. So follow the steps that I'll be sharing with you in the Facebook's credential video so that you do not suffer those 5, 6, 7 sleepless nights that I had to do to understand how this whole Facebook connection works. But in this video, we are going to skip all that and we are going to use whatever connection that I've already created. So for X account or Twitter account as well, I have already created it. We are going to have the Twitter, we are going to have an operation tweet, and you can see that it's a thread. There is a different way of posting for thread, and again, that is not basically scope of this particular lesson. I'm going to cover that how you can create Twitter thread in a separate video, maybe on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned over there on my YouTube channel as well. So I'm going to just drag this content over here. Before I click on execute step, probably it will go and post all this stuff over there, which we do not want. All we want is first thread, which is like separated by this \n and the comma. So in order to do that, let me paste an expression that I have already created. I'll delete this and I'll paste it over here. So what I'm doing is I'm using the JSON library of parse method in which I'm parsing the content. So basically this is the JSON I'm putting into it, and then I'll be able to access the thread key over here. And because thread is more like a list of values separated by comma, I'm going to use the first index over here that returns me ready to supercharge your productivity. And if we use a split node in between, we can split it on this particular thing, have multiple values outputted, and use the X node or Twitter node in order to send multiple tweets or create that kind of Twitter thread. So now let me click on this execute step. It's waiting to execute. Let me come back over here and you can see that first tweet has been posted. I'm going to just go ahead and delete it before anyone sees it. There is nothing much to worry because I rarely use this Twitter account or Twitter in general. Now let's come back to our workflow. Let's go back. So Twitter is done. Now comes the part of LinkedIn. So for that as well, I'll open this up and you can see that I've already created some credentials. Again, I'm going to create a dedicated video of creating the credentials. I want to post, I want operation as create, and I want to post as a person. So you can post as a person or you can post as an organization. And that's the trick that you solve while creating the credential, which I'm going to show you in separate video. Now over here, I'm going to select the person name or the ID. So this is my person name because the credentials has been authorized under my account. Similarly, in the text field, you can see that the entire post is over here. I'm going to paste the same expression. Let me go back and turn it into expression. Let's use this. So instead of now parsing the entire thing, I'm going to parse the content, and inside the content, what I have is, I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to say dot. So there you go. I want LinkedIn post over here. So I just wrote the LinkedIn post. So that's how I'm getting the LinkedIn post content. If I open it up, you would see that JSON.parse. In the JSON.parse, we have the content which is coming over here, message.content, and then .LinkedIn underscore post. Like I earlier said, we could have avoided this by going back to our OpenAI node and using JSON output as the output so that the entire JSON is being outputted instead of having this message, role, index, or content. The JSON is outputted. And like I said, if you are having trouble following this, what we can also do is let's go back to our canvas and let's open this up. And what I'm going to do is unpin this. So we are going to make another call. And what I have to do is output content as JSON. So I'll click on this and we are going to click on execute step. And now you can see that the content is being returned in a JSON format. This will become much easier for us to access. Now, before going back, let's pin this data. So this data is pinned. Let's come back. Let's save this. And now I'll execute the switch node. So let's execute the switch node. Let's go back to the Twitter one. Let's first fix this one. And like I said, now we don't need to parse all this information. I just need to say this thread. Let's drag this thread over here. So thread is already over here. It is an array. And as we access the 0th element, so we have to access the 0th element over here. So you can see that instead of writing that complex expression, we can turn on the JSON output in our OpenAI node, and this would get much easier. Now, if I execute this step, it is going to post it on my Twitter account, which I don't want to do it. Let's come back. Let's come to the LinkedIn. So this also means now this complex expression is going to change it and make it very easier with the dot notation. I'm going to just drag it over here and you can see json.message.content.linkedin underscore post is what we have to do. Now if I execute this step, it is going to post it on my LinkedIn profile, which is my personal LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to quickly go over there and quickly delete it. So let me go to my profile before someone sees it. And here you can see that, are you a solopreneur feeling overwhelmed by the endless tasks? So I'm going to just go ahead and delete it before someone sees it. It is much more active account than the Twitter account. So I have just removed this post, but you can see that now I'm able to post it on my LinkedIn profile as well. Now let's come back, go to the canvas, let's save our progress, and now let's pick up the Facebook one, which is the most difficult one. It's not as easy as what we have done so far. I cannot just click on this and search for Facebook Graph API and it will post it. No, it is not going to do it. It looks easy, but it does not work that way. So we have to go back. Let me first disconnect this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post it not on my personal profile of Facebook, rather I'm going to post the content on the GenAI Unplugged page that I have created. So if I open up my Facebook account, let's open this and let me say GenAI Unplugged. Let's open this over here. Okay, it's not coming up because it's a new page. Let me click on this. You can see that I have my name, couple of pages. I have just GenAI Unplugged over here. Let's go back to the feed. Nothing is there. So this is the feed that we have. And you can see this is the GenAI Unplugged page. And there is only one post over here. Welcome to GenAI Unplugged. So this is where we are going to post the Facebook content that we have created on our Facebook page of GenAI Unplugged. So how do we do that? In order to quickly do it or explain it to you in this tutorial, let me add some notes over here quickly and then I'll explain what I'm doing. First, we have to basically fetch something called an access token. So in order to do that, I'm going to add an HTTP node because I'm going to make an HTTP call. Then I'm going to go back first and then basically let me add some space over here. Let me drag this up so that it becomes more readable. Let me fix this. Now let me make this and let's keep it over here. The second thing, I'm going to add a quick code node. I'll tell you why. And the final thing we'll do is add this Facebook Graph API node or connect it over here so that we can post it to our Facebook page. In short, there are a couple of kinds of tokens that Facebook provide us in order to access their Graph API. Anything that you have to do with any of the Facebook product, be it Facebook, be it Instagram, be it Threads, or be it WhatsApp, you have to use Facebook Graph API, and there are various tokens to it. There is access token, there is page token, there is user token. So what we will be doing is, first thing, we are going to get the access token, which is going to work in this particular session using a long-term token that I have already created the credentials with. But how to create that long-term token is covered in the other tutorial that I have on my YouTube channel. So here I'm going to open this. And in the method, we are going to have get. In the URL, I'm going to paste this graph.facebook.com v23.0, which is the version of these APIs. Then me, which is stands for my account, and then the accounts. In the authentication, like I said, I have already predefined or already created it. So predefined credential type. Here, I'm going to select the Facebook. So if I come down over here, there should be a Facebook one. You can see that there are a few types of credential type: Facebook Graph API, Facebook Graph API app, and then there is Facebook Leads app auth 2 API. I'm going to use this Facebook Graph API, and then in the Graph API, I'm going to select this Facebook Graph account long-term token because I have created a long-term user token in order to access it, which is my own account. I'm going to click on this execute step. So currently it has returned me the page that I want. This is the GenAI Unplugged, and you can see that this access token is what I am interested in. I will have to use this access token while making a call of Facebook Graph API in order to post to Facebook page. If you have to post it on Instagram, then this access token is not required. You can directly use this long-term access token and create the Instagram post. But because we have to post it on Facebook page, I have to use this access token in order to post it. Otherwise, it does not work. I failed and tried many times. I have followed the documentation to the teen, n8n, as well as the Facebook developer documentation. Nothing worked. This is how it finally worked for me. If you know a better way of doing it, please let me know in the comment section of this video. But I'm going to use this access token, and you can see that it's not just GenAI Unplugged that has been returned, that is 0th index, but you can see one index is also there where the name is Devil on Wheels. So that's the second page that we were seeing in my account that was available over there. If I go back to the Facebook, you can, if I click on this arrow over here, you can see that this is me, which is my account, and then these two pages are there. I want the access token of the page which is GenAI Unplugged, so that's why I have the second node following it, which is the code node, in which we are going to write a very simple line of code that is going to work on this particular page ID and fetch the token for that particular page ID that we are interested in. We are interested in GenAI Unplugged. So I'll open up this code node and I'll just delete this and I'll paste this piece of code, which is basically searching my page ID. I have hard coded it over here, but you can use some sort of set field nodes at the start of the workflow and input the page ID that you want to work upon. But for now I have hard coded. Let me execute this. It is going to fetch this page ID's access token. So it has fetched the right access token for the right page on which we want to post the content. Now if I come back to the canvas, let's open this graph API page, and you can see that there are various properties, and you see that this edge is over here. So I'm going to use the edge. I'm going to post a photo as well along with the content that we have, so that you have the complete understanding. And in order to have some sort of photo, either we can generate the photo on the fly using some sort of AI, or I can have a static photo. Maybe let me open the GenAI Unplugged. Let me copy the image address over here, and we are going to insert an HTTP request node. Let's insert an HTTP. Let's make an HTTP request in order to get this file. So there are no authentication. So this is where we were making the request. Let me click on execute request. It took some time to just download 11 KB. I don't know why, but like we have the image over here. So now we have the data as well. Now let's come back. And now we are going to connect this Facebook node over here. Now let's open this. First thing that we have to do is select the long-term token that we have done. In the JSON, we can see the access token is still there. In the binary, we have the file over here. Now we have to host URL is same default. We'll keep it. We'll use the post method now. In the graph API, we can see v22. In the node, we have to mention the page ID. So I'll just go back. I'll open up maybe this node. And this was my page ID. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to use the node as page ID because I want to post it on my page, not on my account. If I have to post it on my account, I'll be using me over here. In the edge, we have to use what we are trying to post. So here we are trying to post a photo along with some data, which is more like text. So I'm going to use photos over here. If we have to use videos, we'll be using edges videos. You can refer the Facebook developer documentation or Facebook graph API documentation in order to understand how this edge or node works. Now we have to send the binary file. I'm going to turn on this, and the field is data. So this is the field name data that is coming, in which the file is there. Now we'll start adding the query parameters. So in the first query parameter, we are going to say access token. So access token we have already fetched. So we are going to basically pass this. Oops, the spelling of token is wrong. Now I'm going to add another parameter, which is more like prompt, which can just say welcome to GenAI first n8n post. Then I'll add another one. I'll say caption. And in the caption, we can go back to our switch node and we can say this carousel options. And over here, we can say 0. Right? So this looks the final configuration of our Facebook Graph API node. Let me click on execute, and it should go and post the content. So it has post the ID. You can see the post ID has been received. If I come to my Facebook account, so right now you can see that there is nothing, only welcome to GenAI Unplugged is there, which was posted yesterday. Let me refresh it. Alright, so you can see the logo is here with this caption of unlock the future of productivity with these top 5 AI tools solopreneurs. So I'm going to just go ahead and move it to trash. So that's it. We have posted the content on Facebook as well now. So all our social media platforms have been covered by our n8n workflow. And just from one topic, we have created the blog post. And from the blog post, we have generated 4 types or repurposed 4 types of different contents for different social media platform. That's the power of AI automation. Now if I go back, I'll save my progress and I'm going to click on this tidy up. Let me just delete this sticky note. We no longer need this. Let me zoom in over here. Let's add this over here as well. So we have 2 triggers. Let's save this. Now let me tidy this up. Let me clear the execution. Let's save it again. Let me open this. Let's unpin this. Let's open this as well. Let's unpin this as well. Let's go back to the canvas. Let's save it. Let me zoom in a bit more. This is how our final workflow looks like. It gets triggered as soon as you make an entry into this Google Sheet of the topic that you want. You can specify the audience, tone, word count, domain, and the status. Status should be pending. If the status is pending, it is going to find the details of the topic or fetch that topic one by one. Then it is going to fetch the dynamic AI prompts that we have listed in another sheet of Google that we are maintaining along with all the social media platforms on which we want to amplify the presence of the blog that will get generated. And once that is done, we are going to replace the topic details in those dynamic AI prompts. Then we are going to generate the blog post from the topic, clean up the HTML, post it on our WordPress based blog. Once that is done, we are going to merge the blog post that has been generated and cleaned up along with all the social media platforms on which we have to post it. One by one, we are going to generate the social media post for each platform, giving it input as the blog post that has been generated. And finally, for each of the platform, which is Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, we are going to post the content. For the YouTube, we are just generating the outline of our video script and saving it in our Google Doc. So let me zoom out, zoom in a bit. Let's click on the execute workflow. It has fetched one topic. It is fetching the dynamic AI prompts, replacing the values, generating the blog post now. Now the blog post is generated. It has posted the content on my WordPress. Then it is basically generating all the social media content now. And once generated, it is going to post on all the social media platforms that we have listed over here. And that's it, it's done. If I go to my Twitter account, if I refresh it, so that's the post that it has created. If I open my LinkedIn account, if I refresh it, should be a post that should be visible over here. So it's a post that has been made visible over here. If I go to my Facebook page, if I refresh this, you can see that unlock the productivity 10 hacks with n8n. This has been posted. And a new blog post of 10 productivity hacks using n8n. If I click on the preview, it has been created on my WordPress blog over here as a draft. I can review it and basically edit and post it. I hope in this lesson you learned a lot about how to generate social media content, blog posts, using AI in your workflows. You also learned about how to insert dynamic prompts, how to replace the data of dynamic prompts with the data that is coming in your workflows. And you also learned about some part of the most difficult social media platform to post on, which is Facebook. I showed you a glimpse, but there is a dedicated video as well. But overall, you got a gist of how you can automate the content creation workflows in your personal lives. In the next lesson of this course, I'm going to deep dive into a recruiter job where we are going to shortlist the resumes that are coming on the job postings we have posted, and we are going to see how AI can take decisions and rate the candidates for the fitment of the job that we have posted, where we are also going to cover some new AI specific notes. So stay tuned to check that lesson out, and I'll see you over there.